So Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. Okay, she's getting paid to raise her own child. Awesome. The child grew up, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became like her son. She named him Moses, and she said, "For I drew him from the water." This is a trick question. This is where we want to focus. Why did she call him Moses?
I said, is it because she saved his life?
Saved his life? Negative, no.
Is it because up until then they weren't calling him anything and that's when she gave him a name?
Yes. So yes, but she gave him a name Moses. And I'm asking why the name Moses?
Oh,
The name Moses means uplift.
Okay, negative. Let's see.
Rabbi,
Mr. Drew.
question I have is, who's calling the child Moses? Is it the Egyptian is it the Egyptian woman, the princess, or is it the mother of Moses? Because it's not really clear who called him Moses.
It's Pharaoh's daughter who calls him Moses.
Okay, Roger Jack.
Is it a name that she knows that calling him by this name would have protected him from being touched by anyone in Egypt, harming him?
Negative. So read the text. The text has the answer. The child grew up and she brought him to Pharaoh. Somebody got the answer in the chat. I'm just holding up before I ask him why he chose that answer. The child grew up and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became like his son. She named him Moses, and she said, "For I drew him from the water." Mr. David, why did you choose that answer? Mr. David Israel, why did you choose that answer?
Why? I don't know. Just from reading it, that's the part that stood out to me. And honestly, I don't even have a reason as to why.
Okay.
Because
I mean, you're correct. I just want to know why you.
That's the part that stood out to me. So she like adopted him.
Correct.
Gave him that name because she adopted him.
Correct. Okay. You know the problem that we're having here? Mr. Drew is onto something. You're giving me the name of Moshe in Hebrew. The woman did not speak Hebrew. What language did Pharaoh's daughter speak?
Egyptian.
she was spoken Egyptian.
Egyptian. So why are you giving Moshe's name in Hebrew? The meaning in Hebrew. You see the problem? She gave the name, the Egyptian, not the Hebrew woman. So the name that she's given will not be a Hebrew name. It's going to be an Egyptian name. We would expect an Egyptian woman calling a baby Moshe to give an explanation fitting the meaning of that word in Egyptian. Instead, her explanation plays on the meaning of the word in Hebrew. That's what is confusing us. So we have to find out the name that Pharaoh, the daughter of Pharaoh, gave to Moses, or the child. What does it mean? He cannot explain it in Hebrew because she did not give a Hebrew name. You see the difficulty there. We missed that. We read, "For I drew him from the water." Even in Hebrew, that's not what the name means. But look at that. But she's speaking Egyptian, so we have to find out what that name means in Egyptian. Awesome. Are we clear to this point?
So do we have the meaning in Egyptian?
No, from the narrative, the woman is the Egyptian is the one given the name, not the Hebrew.
Yes.
So we cannot
Right.
explain the name as a Hebrew name. We have to explain it as an Egyptian name.
Right. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. So now let's look at what the name means. Now,
Okay.
the two most prominent Bible commentators made the same mistake. During the 2nd century BCE, through the destruction of Jerusalem, I believe 70 AD or 70 CE, we have Philo of Alexandria, and then Josephus. Philo, in his book, The Life of Moses, writes, "Then she gave him a name, calling him Moses, with great propriety, because she had conceived him out of the water. She had received him out of the water, for the Egyptians call water Mus." This is what Philo said. Because she drew him from the water, so she's given him a name pertaining to water. Not accurate. Josephus also plays on the same Mus or Mo as Philo of Alexandria did. This is what Josephus says in Antiquities of the Jews, Book 1, paragraph 6. Hereupon it was that Thermuthis imposed the name Malthus upon him for what had happened when he was put into the river. For the Egyptians call water by the name Mo or Mu, and such as are saved out of it by the name of Usis. So by putting these two words together, they imposed this name upon him. They're all playing on the Hebrew. They are finding Semitic cognates and they are conjugating things based on the Hebrew rules of grammar, not Egyptian. When we look at the text tells us what the name is. Mr. Israel gets it. Mr. David gets it. He became like a son. He became like a son. She's not calling her any name because of what she did, but what he became. Why do we know Philo was wrong? Josephus was wrong. Beginning with the accidental find of the famed Rosetta Stone in 1799 and the subsequent work on it conducted by Jean Francio Chambolian, the world was given a grand view of ancient Egypt. Among the many pictures whose name was clarified, they identified the consonantal string MSS as meaning child or son, S-O-N. MSS, so now you understand the title, MSS, the redemption. MSS, that consonant means child or son. Can we prove it? What does Ramses mean? The name Ramses, what does it mean?
Child of Ra. Son
Awesome.
of Ra.
As easy as that. Do you see the consonant MSS? It's right there. Ra is the god, and he's saying this is the child or the son of Ra. As easy as that. You have that same MSS as Moshe's name. It means son or child. Now go back to the text. What did she say? The child grew up, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became like her son. Moses, son. That's all. That's what the name means in Egyptian. And the text tells us. Our problem is we're trying to interpret it using the supposed Hebrew meaning of the name, but she did not speak Hebrew, she spoke Egyptian. So she adopts him. Maybe his name was Crown Prince or the son of royalty, whatever. but the name is son. That's what. Son as in S-O-N. That is what the name Moshe means. The consonant MSS means child. And we see it in Ramses, son or child of Ra. The Rosetta Stone brought clarity to this. To see if it was wrong, Philo was wrong. Or let me rephrase that. The information they had about ancient Kemet was not accurate. The Rosetta Stone comes and clarifies these things for us.